a podcast where my mouth just exploded. Welcome to the Horror Hangout, a podcast where two bitter film fans watch the best and worst horror movies of all time. My name is Luke Condor-Kate, and I'm joined by my regular co-host, Mr.
Ben Errington.
I sounded like I just jumped out from behind a corner.
Did your mouth just explode? You got such a dribbly mouth.
Exactly. How you doing? You good?
Yep, I'm doing. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Oh, you're doing good, eh? Just showing off now, aren't you?
Glad
to hear it, mate. Glad to hear it.
Didn't do anything last week because I was ill. Sorry about that. My immune system apologised.
Don't apologise to me, mate. Apologise to everyone else, all right? Because you let them down. Apologise to your family, your friends. That's good. It's nice to have a little break now and again, you know?
Yeah. It gives me a bit of time to catch up with stuff I've seen. I've not really watched that much. I've seen a couple of bits.
God, there you go. It gives me time to catch up with some stuff, and I haven't even done that. So,
I
you know,
catch
what a
up with
waste.
stuff. I meant catch up with my sleeps.
Oh, yeah. That's important as well, Luke, you know?
Yeah.
Self-care. You got to think about your mental health. Have a lovely little sleep. Have a nice chocolate biscuit. Watch something crap on TV.
Yeah, I've been doing lots of that. Yeah.
Me
So,
too.
have we got any news?
I got a little bit of news. Had a little peruse.
Peruse.
Sounds like I'm rapping here.
Yeah.
But so yeah, first
What
thing.
clues did you
which I
see
think-
in the news? Did someone?
What
get
clues did I
some
see in the
abuse?
news about to peruse? Someone ate some shoes. Universal and Blumhouse are developing a new version of The Thing that will adapt the long-lost original novel. Can you believe that?
Yeah, I can. I read it earlier, so I can believe it.
Yeah, you can believe it. You believe everything you read, do you, Luke? Do you believe everything you read? You some sort of sheep?
Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously 1951, yeah. 1951's The Thing from Another World, and The Thing, 1982.
This is
Yeah,
going to be called The
182.
Thing from Another World.
Some of them. So obviously, they're both adaptations of Who Goes There, and apparently this is going to be a bit more close to that,
It's
which
me.
is
It's
interesting.
going to be called.
Blumhouse.
I go there sometimes.
I go there. Hello, Blumhouse. What are they doing? Are they just getting their fingers in every single little pie they can? Is that what we're to expect now? Everything's going to be Blumhouse. Basically, they to horror are what Disney is to every other form of media,
Yeah.
consumable media. They're going to own it.
I'm
Everything's going to be
up
by
for it. I'm up
Blumhouse.
for it. The thingy-majig. I think as long as they take it out of the Arctic and do something else, maybe that won't work. Predator 2. They could go a bit Predator 2. Put it in the urban streets. Maybe it'll be more than one thing. The things.
Yeah. So apparently it's going to be called. Let me see if I'm reading this properly. It's going to be called Frozen Hell, right?
Is it?
Because it's going to have additional chapters from Frozen Hell.
Oh, so it's going to be a remake.
The published novella was actually an abridged version of Campbell's original story called Frozen Hell, which had been shortened for publication. So obviously there's a longer version out there, more juicy story tidbits that they're going to include. So the new film will include the very best of The Thing from Another World, John Carpenter's classic, and both books, Frozen Hell and Who Goes There. So basically, amalgamation of all adaptations of this story ever.
Yeah, but I thought it was going to be like a sequel reboot, sort of like Halloween, the new Halloween. But okay, I'm less interested.
The Thing goes to New York!
Yeah,
Hey, I'm the Thing, and I'm going up the Empire State Building.
the rise
I'm
of
the Thing, and I'm on Times Square. All that shit.
yeah, Thing Kong.
Interesting, right?
Yeah,
What else have I got for you? Something else, a different franchise that might be coming back to the big screen or has been confirmed to come back to the big screen. Columbia Pictures is bringing Anaconda, the Anaconda franchise, back to the big screen.
see, I was never
The
a big
aquatic-
Anaconda, even though my Hungarian grandma was called Anaconda.
Jesus. Why have you not told me that before? You should tell me that immediately when we first met.
I feel like it's something that I tell people all the time. Even though my grandma and Hungarian grandma, God rest her soul, is dead, was called Anaconda. I was never a big fan of the film. Maybe that's why. Maybe I was like, but my nana never did that. My nana never slithered around on her belly.
Yeah. She never slithered around eating John Voight Hall.
Yeah.
I quite liked it. It was I mean, back in the day, I was a little bit scared. Nowadays, it's more of a guilty pleasure, I guess. Got a lot more people in it that you remember. Obviously, Jennifer Lopez, Ice Cube, John Voight, Owen Wilson, Danny Trejo. It's a fantastic cast, and I think it's a really good cheesy monster movie. And apparently, they're gonna do it like a big budget production in the vein of The Meg. So the Meg wasn't particularly great, but fun for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
So why not? And apparently someone's writing the script.
Gianna Condor. They need to make it bigger somehow. Gianna Condor, Gigancon. I don't know what it would be.
Anaconda, my Hungarian grandmother tagline. Got some potential gaming news as well. So, although this one's a bit more like throwing cold water on a previous rumor, heard that Konami were apparently working on 2 new Silent Hill games.
Oh yeah.
But a bit of news has sort of come out that these were initially that these were going to be like a soft reboot of the franchise. Obviously, Hideo Kojima's Silent Hills got the
Hideous
bloody
Kojima.
boot.
That should be his
Hideous
pen name for his
Kojima.
horror work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, allegedly apparently this story has only come from some guy on Twitter saying, "Look, I've heard this is going to happen. I can talk about this." Who knows who this guy is? But yeah, so there's been a bit of cold water thrown on that where like there isn't much of a story in it, but
Silent Bill finally speaks.
Silent Bill finally opens his mouth. But also we've got some other gaming news about Resident Evil 8. Obviously,
What?
Resident Evil 3 is coming out in April. Go on.
Really? I didn't know that. But I was going to say, what was the headline for the Silent Hill? It has to be something like finally breaks the silence or something, right? What was the headline?
Close the tab, Luke. Do you want me to
No. So I'll just imagine it was really good.
Do it.
Okay.
Maybe you should write headlines for these things because I don't think it's as good as that. So yeah, obviously Resident Evil 3 is coming out in April. Resident Evil 8, the next installment, or the main installment of the franchise, apparently is in development. Apparently it was tested last year. Ethan will be returning as a playable character. Or Ethan from Resident Evil 7. It's going to be first person like Resident Evil 7.
I don't think Ethan was the big draw about Resident Evil 7.
Well, it might not have been for you, but for me, I would like to face this man. No, I didn't.
He was a good avatar for you, Ben, and me, all of us. No one was like, "Oh, this new Ethan character is up there with Jill Valentine." That wasn't the draw. But if it means it's semi first person, I'm up for it.
A few other random little bits. Environment will be rural, snowy, and mountainous, possibly in Europe.
Europe.
There is a persistent, shadowy female enemy that will follow you. Yeah, apparently they're wolf-like creatures. It says werewolves here, but
Oh, cool.
And Chris Redfield will be involved in some capacity as well. I mean, whether there is a video on the Residents of Evil YouTube channel, which is a really good, thing for all these leaks and really delving into all the rumors and stuff. Check it out if you're a fan of the franchise. But yeah, there we go. That's quite nice.
I'm excited.
That's all I got for you, though, Luke. Have you got anything for me?
No.
Like
news.
Christmas Day all over again.
So there was the thing one, but you've done that.
Yeah.
No, I think that's all the news. Yep. You covered it.
That's all the news there was. So the next thing I've got to ask you, Luke, what have you been watching?
Okay, so I've seen a few things. The first thing I saw was at the cinema. It's called 1917, which isn't a horror movie, but is quite harrowing. It's a Harrow movie, Hammer Harrow film, and it's about a year and 2 people in this year who is okay. So Sam Mendes, it's about a World War One film. It's 2 people have to go across no man's land to stop this pig attack that's going to get loads of English soldiers killed, and it's all one continuous shot. It really captures the horror of the war. One guy gets his hand snagged by some barbed wire. It's really, really terrifying.
One guy, he goes to sneeze and then he loses the sneeze.
Yeah.
He can't get it again.
Can't get it again. It's gone. But yeah, it's fantastic. I think I gave it like a 4 out of 5. No, 4.5, 4.5 out of 5.
Whoa. Calm down there, man. Calm down.
I just thought it was great. You saw it as well?
Yeah, I saw it. Really good. Cinematography's peng. Looks bloody lovely.
Yeah.
some seriously good direction. It's nice to try and guess where the cuts are, isn't it? It's
I
nice
mean,
to try
there's
and
one
get,
quite
oh,
obvious
yeah,
one.
there's one very obvious one.
I mean, it cuts to like these words on the screen going down the page. Like, that's
What's that about? Was
that
it the end?
continuous? Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, why do films keep doing that, man? Oh, who made it? Who cares? I'm out.
Yeah.
See you later.
You lost me at the credits, mate.
That's me at credits.
Yeah.
If you open with credits, that's even worse. I'm out again. See you
Tarantino
later.
did that.
James,
Reservoir Dogs.
James Bond films.
Okay, so you saw it. What do you reckon? You thought it was good? You liked the cinematography?
Yeah, I thought it was really good. Yeah, it was great. There's nothing else you can really say about it other than it was. Well, there's plenty you can say about it, but that's not for this podcast.
No.
Hope it does bits at the award ceremonies. You know.
Yeah.
They love a war film, don't they? The old Academy Awards.
Film. Yeah. So I also watched and part of a weird movie group of people, and they suggested we all watch Hell Driver together. So we all put it on and we all like chat at the same time as watching it. Hell Driver was this mid 2000s Japanese film, and it was, I mean, it was batshit insane. It was about a woman. There's like a zombie outbreak, and there's a woman who has a heart missing. She's got like a chainsaw sword, and she it's insane. She's like lopping off heads and stuff with this chainsaw sword. That's not even the insane thing about it. It gets much more insane than that. There's one bit where a zombie falls into a pile of swords, and he's like impaled and he's got his sword sticking out of him. But then there's a car that's got swords like strapped to the front. So the zombie with the swords coming out of him, and the car with the swords on the front have a sword fight. Like the car does a wheelie, and they're sort of battling. The zombie's sort of shaking, like that. And the car's like just like shunting left and right as it's like ting ting, and they're having a little sword fight. There's another bit where the master zombie, she makes everyone form this giant humanoid zombie shape made of zombies like hanging on to each other, and then the government shoots missiles at it, and it catches the missiles and then takes off like a plane, holding the missiles as if they were like thrusters. It's that was a strange one. I also watched.
I mean,
go on.
Sounds great. It just sounds great, doesn't it?
I mean, if you like the sound of that,
also watched.
Then you probably like Greasy Strangler. You seen the Greasy Strangler?
I haven't, but I've heard some things about it. But you need to remind me.
Produced by Rook Films, so Ben Wheatley's company. This is, I mean, it's like Napoleon Dynamite meets a horror movie, with John Waters-esque stuff going off in there. So it's about a man and his son give disco tours somewhere. I don't know where it is set actually. And then the dad disappears every now and again, and becomes the Greasy Strangler. He like kind of covers himself in this thick grease, and he's just covered in grease, but he becomes like a sort of animal man thing. And he goes around strangling people. There is some great moments in it. Like every time he strangles someone, like there's really sad music plays, and then the person they're not like choking, but they're sort of coming to terms with their death in a really weird way. Like a lot of them are saying like, am I dying? Am I dead yet? God, I'm going to miss things. And it's like really sad. But then every time he's done his strangling, he goes and gets in the car wash to wash it all off, and he's back to normal. But
grease is really tough to get off as well.
I hate it. You know, you get it in a sink or anywhere, you have to get like a dry towel or something to get it off. But it's insane. There's some funny moments. It does kind of outstay its welcome a bit, because it's slow to the point where it's trying to be humorous in that slowness, and it can get a bit grating. But it's fun. It's got some great moments, and that's about it. That's all I saw.
Did you see?
No.
Did you see the the new David Lynch short film? What did Jack do?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Okay, I did. And this is insane. So 17 minutes of David Lynch interviewing a talking monkey, basically trying to get to the bottom of a murder. Monkey suspected of murder. But it's just pure nonsense. It's just pure and utter nonsense. But, I mean, I was laughing. I chuckled like pretty much for the duration, despite the fact it's nonsense.
It wasn't actually
But I
meant to
think
be
if you're a fan,
a short film, though, was it? It was meant to be like an art. It was to be played in a gallery with his art pieces or something.
that makes sense because it's got zero narrative, pretty much.
Yeah.
And the answers to particular questions are not what the question what was asked of the question, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, but definitely it feels like quite early David Lynch stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe even a little bit like the new series of Twin Peaks as well.
Okay.
That's interesting. Watched a couple of questionable horrors. I say questionable. One was much better than the other. From sort of like the late 90s, early 2000s, I watched Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2.
Oh, yeah. I've
don't
never
really
seen
know
it.
why.
Never seen it. But you like that one, don't you?
What was that?
You like that one, don't you? I thought you did.
Oh, no, definitely not. So I really like the original, and I have seen this before, but I didn't remember much of it, and it's so strange, but just it's a complete mess. It's got some terrible acting in it. It's got the most like early 2000s metal soundtrack.
Oh, God.
Like, as far as I can tell, Marilyn Manson,
Oh, God.
Disturbed, Mudvayne, stuff like that. And it's like, I suppose the concept's kind of interesting because it exists in a world where the first film exists. The film exists, as in, like, it was a film.
I thought you meant like all films. Like it exists
Like all
a sequel
films
that exists in the universe of the first film?
Yeah. But, like, it exists, like, there was a film called Blair Witch, and now we're Blair Witch 2.
Okay.
Like that.
Right, yeah.
But it's just mad. It's just, there's nothing even remotely similar to any of the ideas and stuff that it's just kind of insane. Edited really strangely. Just like, they're supposed to be teenagers, and there's at least one of the actors is like a 40-year-old bloke. Weird. Pretty much dog shit. I also watched Stir of Echoes, which is like a sort of paranormal, supernatural. Kevin Bacon.
What's his flavour? Who wrote the book? It's famous writer man
Richard Matheson.
Richard Matheson. Yeah.
So a guy just becomes hypnotized at one point by some girl who loves doing a hypnotism.
Yeah.
And it kind of opens his mind to all of these sort of like paranormal experiences and stuff. And it begins it turns into like a sort of murder mystery that he's trying to work out. Creepy kid.
Yes.
A bit cliche in places, but you know, I remember enjoying this when I watched it many years ago. And what I've been doing is on the Horror Channel, which is on various things like Freeview and Sky and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Every now and again, sort of at 9 o'clock on a Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, there's a pretty good horror film on, and a film that you kind of haven't thought about for a while. So I watched Psycho 2 on there recently. Stir of Echoes on there. I think John Carpenter's Vampires is on soon.
I miss scheduled viewing, where you just kind of forces you to sit down and watch something. And
yeah, I kind of feel the same, and I feel like watching something scheduled every now and again is quite interesting. It's nice. Sometimes when the adverts come on, it's that nice little, you know what I mean, a little break. Got to get back before it starts again. Go make a cup of tea, whatever you're going to do. There's something quite nostalgic about that.
Can you get Freeview on PS4? I bet you can't you?
Don't know.
Sure. We don't have F1 cable, F-type cable coming in through the wall, so we can't watch.
I'm thinking it's available in quite a lot of ways, so I'm sure you can get it. If you can't, then sorry. I'm really sorry. And then I also saw Bad Boys for Life, which was
Babadook for Life.
Bad Boys for Life, which was really good. Much better than I was ever expecting. Much better than it probably, deserves to be. Really good.
I feel good that Will Smith has had a decent film out.
Yeah. It's just a really good twist on sort of like the usual setup with these characters, and the fact that they're both a bit older now, so it kind of like leans into that. It leans into the Fast and the Furious franchise a little bit with the action. Yeah. We're like, okay, right, we got to take the action to the next level, essentially. But I enjoyed it. I was laughing. I was invested in the various scenarios the characters find themselves in, and I found myself like enjoying being back in that world. Whereas, it's been close to 20 years since the last installment. So, yeah, bloody lovely. There we go. That's it.
Cool. Okay. And then the other film, sorry about the coughing there. The other film we watched was Creature from the Black Lagoon, which was suggested by a listener.
This was suggested. Who was it suggested by? Do we know?
I'll tell you in a second.
Somebody suggested it. So somebody basically said we hadn't watched. just the cogs are going.
Yeah.
Just someone suggested we haven't watched a lot of older films, which I guess was kind of like a choice we kind of made, considering we finished the list, and then I guess I do like watching these older films. I mean, especially this one. But there's something about, when we think about what film to watch next, usually the one I'm thinking of is like, oh, I haven't seen this yet, or I missed this last year, I missed this 2 years ago.
Yeah,
that's kind of the way my brain thinks. So, so Creature from the Black Lagoon is a 1954 American black and white monster horror film from Universal International, directed by Jack Arnold, starring Richard Carlson, Julie Adams, Richard Denning, lots of other people. The creature was played by Ben Chapman on land and by Ricou Browning underwater. Because Ricou Browning can breathe underwater. That's the reason for that.
Right.
So
Kristen suggested it. Kristen Brown. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kristen.
It took me a while to remember, but got it.
Yeah, you just
buffered.
Access in the memory.
Got
it. A strange prehistoric beast lurks in the depths of the Amazonian jungle. A group of scientists try to capture the animal and bring it back to civilization to study.
Sorry, is this Anaconda or is this?
That's Anaconda, and
from the Black Lagoon.
The synopsis for Creature from the Black Lagoon is the same word for word.
Cool.
So it stars obviously the famous Universal monster, the Gill Man, which we've seen in various sequels, and I think the last film he was in was Monster Squad, which I think would be a good film to do on this podcast.
I haven't seen that for years, but I loved it as a kid.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
So I mean, are you okay? So we've not done many Universal horror movies for a long time. I think maybe even over a year ago, maybe now. I don't know. But I always feel like I do enjoy them. I enjoy the aesthetic, and there's always a feel there that works really well. If it was Dracula and Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein, there is something I always enjoy and take away from them. But there is always a bit of they are a little bit over the cliff in the sense that they're a bit slower. They tend to be a bit slower. There tends to be more redundancy in the storytelling, which we're just not used to in this day and age. Like you can't have the same thing attacking in the same way over and over, which this film does do, and these older films do. So there's always like a bit of that. But I actually found this an oddly comforting watch, oddly easy to watch. I just had on, watched it quite. It didn't feel like it slogged really at all. Maybe a bit towards the end. Yeah, I'm glad we watched this one. So 85% Rotten Tomatoes, critics, 73% user rated, 3.6 letterboxed. So I mean, it's generally liked, this film.
Yeah, it's pretty highly rated, and I've never seen it before.
Me neither.
So aware of it in like the public realm of popular horror movies and monster movies, but I've never seen it before. But then again, I guess it's some of those things I've never always felt the want to do, because it's another one. They're always quite short, aren't they? So this one's only 79 minutes long.
Are you sure? I thought it was long, didn't it?
So, well, allegedly, according to Wikipedia, Luke.
No,
you arguing
that
with
is
Wikipedia?
right.
You better than Wikipedia?
No.
That's right, is it?
Sorry. Yeah, that's right.
I'm very sorry.
To be hard to buffer.
Yeah, and there is something quite satisfying about this film. I like the aesthetics. Maybe it's because of where it takes place, sort of in the Amazonian jungle. It's got quite an interesting little cast of people, of like scientists and.
I feel like there's maybe 2 or 3 scientists that could have been played by the one person.
Yeah, that's true. I like it because obviously the young lady, despite being the fact that she is essentially a damsel in distress, that's not all she's reduced to. She is essentially a scientist along the same.
I put here in my notes, they're treating her like she's a weak cheese souffle who would deflate at the nearest hint of a man sneezing.
Okay, maybe that's not what I meant. What I meant was that she, as a scientist, she's kind of like well respected, and she's in a relationship with one of the guys, isn't she?
Yeah, but they're constantly
I didn't.
one of them, one of the men are like, some of them are like, be careful, there's a woman present, or they say something along those lines. That's like, she
Put
can't.
your penis away. There's a woman present. Sorry.
Yeah. There's a constant sense of like people, I don't know, are scared that she can't handle the situation or something. They're worrying about her.
Well, I'd be worried about her. If there was a fish man coming at you,
I'd
no
want
matter
you to
who
be
you
worried
were,
about me
I'd be
before
like,
you're worried about some woman.
yeah, there's a bloody fish
Careful.
man. He's
Careful.
coming out of it.
Yeah.
Careful, there's a fish man.
Yeah. Okay. So who we got in the cast? Richard Carlson, who plays David Reed, who's the main scientist guy. I mean, like the main.
He's
action
like
guy.
a hunky main scientist action guy.
Oh,
Again,
yeah.
with these films, it always seems like the lead actor. I'm like, he could easily be from anywhere from 29 to 49.
Yeah.
Like, how old is this dude?
I bet they're well younger than we think they are as well, because he looks like he could be
Definitely.
40-ish. But I bet
It's
he's
just
like
happened.
20, 23.
It's the bloody war, wasn't it?
16.
Everyone got
worried.
aged everybody.
Yeah, Julie Adams plays Kay Lawrence, who apparently has been like 150. She's got 150 screen credits, but this is her most.
She's 150 years old.
Still alive today. She's a damsel in distress, but also a scientist. Richard Denning although I gotta say, Julie Adams, the Kay Lawrence character, she does some strange stuff, swimming out there in the lagoon. As if it's a bloody
all stuff. Yeah,
Lido. Richard Denning, Mark Williams. I think, is he the he's the sort of, he's in charge, the money man, right? He wants to.
Yeah, possibly. Again, a lot of these characters do kind of feel like
Yeah.
the same white dude, don't they?
Yeah.
There's like a boat captain there.
Wikipedia describes him as crusty.
Crusty?
Crusty boat captain. What does he say?
Oh, you're ever so crusty.
Because I was like looking at the plot on Wikipedia to I thought I'd missed something. I was reading up and it said the crusty boat captain or something.
You crusty bastard.
I can't remember. Okay. Antonio Moreno, who plays Carl Meyer. Again, I'm not too sure who these people are. Specifically Carl Meyer. Okay, so I think he's the original scientist, the older guy who finds the skeleton hand at the start.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to struggle with these other people. But we open with the film. And then it's the film's done. So we open as a guy in Amazon rainforest. He's got some assistants who are Amazonian men, I think.
Just two little Amazonian dudes. Apparently, their names are Z and Chico.
Chico. Okay.
Come on, Chico, sort it out. It's Chico time.
Chico and these people find a skeletal hand with webbed fingers sticking out of a wall, and it's like, it looks, I mean, exactly that, a skeletal hand with webbed fingers, and they're like, this is amazing. The main scientist, Dr. Meyer, is like, I'm going to go and get some more people or something along these lines. You guys, Chico, Z, you stay here and look after the skeletal hand. Make sure nothing happens to it. At the same time,
Si, senor.
Exactly. So then Carl, we're gonna be speeding through this plot here. Carl, he goes, he gets in his boat, he goes back to base, which is another boat. It's a bigger boat. There's like an aquarium, I think. And he goes all the way back to California.
Yeah, he says to the guys, "I'll be back in a minute. Look after the skeleton hand. I'll be back in a minute." And he goes all the way back to California. Probably comes back a couple of weeks later, and they're like, "You're finally back."
You know, in Interstellar, when they go onto that planet and back, and the guy's aged.
Jesus.
So after Chica.
You'd be fuming, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You'd be fuming. I've been here in ages.
It's like the
I've
guy,
been here absolutely ages.
the Japanese soldier guy who, no, he wasn't Japanese, Vietnamese, was he? He hid in the woods for years and years after the war ended because he was convinced that it's still happening.
God.
It's only like
And he came out. We've been having a whale of a time over here. It's been lovely. Where have you been? I've just been eating my own shit. No.
living in holes.
Or whatever.
Yeah. Okay, so he goes back to California and he finds a hunky David Reed, who is an ichthyologist. Ichthyologist.
Ichthyologist, which is basically just about STDs and stuff. He just itchy
How
stuff.
itchy?
So he
Quite itchy.
so he works at an aquarium, and I think overqualified. That's the first thing I think. I just work in an aquarium. He's like next to
Look
like,
at
the
this
Saturday
fish.
boy.
It has STDs. Look how it shakes and itches.
He's walking. There's a Saturday boy working there. He's sweeping the floor, and he's going, "How have I got the same job as you? I'm a itchyologist, and you're just you got one GCSE or whatever it was back in those days."
O levels.
So apparently he's been a guest at Carl's Institute in Brazil studying lungfish. That's what he's doing.
Okay.
Imagine that. Imagine that. Come to Brazil. It'll be wonderful. What am I going to be doing in Brazil? I'm going to be studying some lungfish. Well, that's interesting. Sounds interesting. Does it pay well?
Probably not. So David persuades his boss. Oh, okay, yeah. I'm back at speed here. So the financially minded Dr. Mark Williams, who is the blonde one. They look kind of similar.
Yep.
One's got blonde hair, and one's got dark hair.
One's got blonde hair. One's got blonde streaks.
He's like, okay, I want to see the rest of this webbed skeleton thing. I'm going to pay for it.
Where's the bloody webbed skeleton thing? Show me where it is. I want to have a look at it. I'll fund the bloody whole expedition just
this
for you.
This is like when you're a kid and someone comes to the school playground and says, there's this thing I found over here, and everyone's yeah, let's go find the thing. And all the kids go to find the thing, and it's just a piece of shit.
Look at the size of it, though. Bloody hell, it's massive.
Yeah. Okay. So, okay, they get on the boat. And then we're introduced to the rest of the crew. Oh, no, did they get attacked? I think Chico and Z get attacked at this point.
So Chico and Z get attacked. They're obviously back at the camp, living, looking after the thing. But then there's a
They keep doing that prank where they hold out the hand to shake the other person's hand, and it's a skeletal webbed fingered hand, and it pulls away, and they go, got you again.
Got you again for the 408th time this week, because we've been waiting here for weeks.
And the guys
to read for Ricou to come back,
and they both know it's a webbed hand, but they've got nothing else to pass the time, so they just go along with it. Good one, Dave.
So obviously, they're being stalked by this amphibious humanoid who lives in the sea. Weird thing, and he does a lot of putting his hand out onto the surface of the ground and then taking it away slowly.
Yeah.
He's cheeky like that.
The music swells perfectly in time with his hand, and then pulls away as he pulls away. It's like he's the composer. So the people as are recording the music were looking at the wrong hand. Okay.
That hand! He's got scaly hand. So yeah, it appears, attacks Chico and Z, and murders them.
It's quite brutal, I think, compared to the previous Universal movies we watched. We don't see anything, but I mean, he puts his hand on him, and then the tent shakes around as if, what is he doing to him?
He's just fucking them up.
If it was like Supernatural, if it was modern day, there'd be a blood splatter against the tent, and that'd be the end. It would cut to black.
Yeah.
It's
pretty creepy, though, isn't it? Like a fish man. I've always found it pretty creepy.
It is with his face, because he's got like a dead trout's face.
Yeah, it's got. I mean, there's no emotion in that face at all. I mean, obviously, with like The Shape of Water, there's a lot going on in that face, and you can feel a bit of connection. Almost feel like it's a love story. Whereas this, I don't want to feel like it's a love story. I feel like he's a dirty perv. This fish.
I've seen this guy's face, looking around windows.
Yeah, looking up skirts. He's always down at the bottom of the. He's down at the bottom of the river, looking up at people, going, "Oh yeah, bloody hell, I love it."
Okay, so on the boat, there's the girl. I can't remember her name. The woman. That's all we need. All we care about. Kay Lawrence.
That woman.
There's another scientist who I kind of felt like he was redundant, because he was like another version of the main one, but like a little bit smaller.
Copy and pasting him. They just copy and paste the main character, and they go,
Command
"Well,
T,
I've copied and
bit
pasted him.
smaller.
He's not quite as good this one, but you know."
It's like 0.75 scale of the other one.
Here we go. The group goes aboard the tramp steamer Rita, captained by Krusty Lucas.
Is that
That's
his
what this
actual name?
says.
Krusty Lucas?
No, it's not. They just described him as that for no reason. But he's not Krusty at all.
Well, I mean, how do you describe Krusty? I mean, I don't know. I guess he looks kind of crusty in the sense that salty.
Krusty the Clown?
Yeah, I know he has like dried salt water on his face, probably.
Weird way to describe someone, isn't it? You might say...
Dry cockle juice. Cockles is in the thing you eat, not...
I'll describe him some other way, because he's quite like over the top, isn't he? This
He's quite friendly.
He's capped.
I
He's quite
imagine he tells great
friendly.
stories.
He's got big, charismatic,
Yeah.
and they've just done him in on Wikipedia by saying he's crusty.
Maybe that's a compliment.
Disrespect. So basically, yeah, they all get to the camp, find Chico and Z, and they've been moided. They've been moided, but Lucas says something like, "Oh, it's probably a jaguar. You know, probably a jaguar."
Yeah.
But then someone says, "Well, look at these claws. They're spaced perfectly to be a human hand." They don't say that, but that's kind of... They jump to conclusions. If someone had been murdered and someone went, "It's probably a jaguar," I'd just go, "Shit, was it? Oh my god."
That's quite terrifying.
I wouldn't then go, "Well, it might have been a piscine amphibious humanoid previously fought
from
extinct."
the Devonian era. They keep saying Devonian period or something like that.
The Devonian era. It just comes from Devon, I just keep thinking. Well, this thing came from Devon, Cornwall.
Yeah, the tiger attacks. Scary enough. Piscine. What did you call it? They did say that piscine. Piscine. What did you say? Piscine period. It's
A piscine amphibious humanoid, which is basically a wet fish man or a water dwelling fish man.
It's like when you've been in
Fish
the bath
bloke.
too long. I turned into a piscine amphibian man thing.
A
piscine. Are you piscine this bath?
Pissed in the bath. Are you pissing this bath? It's very... It's going nuts. So yeah, they do a little excavation in the area, and where they find the fossil, but they don't find anything. And then they say at one point, like, "Oh, where's this little stream or river run out to?" And it kind of washes down river.
Yeah.
And they're looking for stones and rocks and shit that would have come from the same area and time to get more clues, I guess. But it empties out into a lagoon, or as Lucas, the crusty captain, calls it, the Black Lagoon, a paradise from which no one has ever returned. Is that a paradise?
I mean, it could be. It's like Schrodinger's cat. It could be great. It could be bad. We don't know. We'll never know.
Never know. Oh, well, apparently it's a paradise. All the mates have gone there, never come back, which means they love it so much that they've never felt the need to come back.
Exactly.
Or they've been brutally murdered.
So good.
One of the
yeah,
other.
or that, yeah. There's a lot of footage of the dark-haired handsome guy and the blonde-haired handsome guy underwater in their aqualungs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
With the six-pack
It's
abs
like they've...
and the harpoon gun.
Yeah, swimming, and then the creature, the gill man, ever so close to them, but then not seeming to really like swimming past them, and he's swimming alongside them, going, "Wee."
You can't stick your finger. You can't stick your middle finger if you've got webbed fingers, can you? It's difficult.
I suppose you can. You can cut, but you can kind of go, "Have it."
Like a proper American bird, yeah, throwing the bird sort of thing. So they go down to the Black Lagoon, whilst David and Mark, I'm guessing their names now, but they're similar, David and Mark, the blonde and brown, go for a wander, or they're looking at stuff. Kay goes for a light swim in like an Amazonian rainforest lagoon, which, if you've ever seen like Amazonian rainforest, like tropical rainforest, they don't look particularly nice to be swimming around in. There's like frog spawn, there's like gunky shit everywhere. There's alligator. We saw an alligator further upstream, and now there's like...
What an idiot.
What an idiot.
There's always like piranhas, or have you heard about, what are those fish where they swim up
Tomb Raider 3? Is it Tomb Raider 3?
Yeah.
I think there's piranhas in that one.
What about, there's like some sort of parasite that like swims up your urine stream and goes into your urethra, and then little spines come out.
Amphibian.
of like the existence of that creature is like forever in my consciousness. Like I'm scared it's gonna happen to me wherever I am. Swimming pool.
It's gone up your urethra into your consciousness. It ain't coming out now.
Oh, it's got up my urethra straight into my brain and stuck its spikes out. Anyway, she's full
of them
respect.
Now. She's full of urethra animals.
Oh, over.
They're using a urethra like a highway. Those lot.
Jesus.
Straight up there into the consciousness. I can't remember what I'm saying. Okay, so she's fine now. I mean, she looks fine, but who knows what's going on inside there now. They get attacked again. There's a lot of like I think the Gillman is supposed to kind of fancy her, and he's kind of like looking at her. There's one bit where her foot's like on the bed. There's a porthole window, and his hand keeps going into the window next to her leg and back out. But it doesn't do the Jaws music.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we get a lot of what happens now for the rest of the movie. The creature gets onto the boat, kills someone, escapes, gets a harpoon in his back. They chase him for a bit. He gets back on the boat, attacks them some more. I don't know.
Before they see it, it gets caught in a net briefly, and they sort of reveal its existence. They're collecting these rock samples from the floor. Obviously,
poo.
Kay just keeps going swimming because she loves it. It's his poo, yeah. And the Gill man keeps stalking. So yeah, he basically kills 2 crew members, I think.
Yeah.
But then he gets captured, doesn't he?
Then he just gets away.
He gets captured, locked in a cage, and then during the night, there's a guy who's guarding it, and it escapes. Kills him, but then Kay smashes the creature like with this lantern, drives it away. I don't think Edwin dies actually. He was the guy who's guarding it. I think he just gets injured and ends up with his whole face bandaged, which is basically dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
And at this point, there's a little bit of conflict between the crew where David wants them to leave, go back to civilization, forget about it, leave the Gill man.
That's brown
whereas Mark is like, whereas Mark, blonde-haired guy, is like, hey, I think we can capture this guy and take him back and put him on the stage.
Make him dance.
So yeah, there's a little bit. They have a little bit of a fight. I think there's a little brief punch up, isn't there?
There's some fisticuffs. Yeah. Some harsh words are said. Yeah, buffoon.
Yeah. I just think, grow up, lads.
You tip box. Yeah. The creature, the Gill man, blocks them off as well. He makes like a little. Well, I think so. He kind of makes a little dam.
Yeah, he puts a load of logs like in the way, and they get a little bit. They can't get away. And
damn. Yes, it is.
Damn.
That's what they say.
It is. Damn. It's a dam.
Damn it.
And they try to attempt to remove the logs. Mark ends up going underwater trying to capture the creature single-handedly because he's absolutely nails. He swims down there going, come on then, creature.
Yeah.
He gets mauled to death, doesn't he? He gets killed.
There's some hero music. There's some cool hero music where David goes after him with a harpoon gun. I like that little bit of score. It was good. Yeah, I think it's got a great score. It's got a very classic feel to it. And then we get like the iconic visuals where the Gill man abducts Kay, carries her around like she's an overgrown baby, takes her to its cavern lair. I don't know what he's going to try and do. Whether he's just going to... Well, if he's anything like a normal male fish, he's going to wait for her to shoot out a load of eggs, and he'll jizz on him.
He might be waiting a while. He might be... Shoot your eggs out, then. Shoot your eggs out. I don't know what you're on about.
I don't do that. Go on. Don't be shy.
Go on. Bloody hell, we're here forever. So yeah, David, Lucas, and Carl. So obviously David, the captain, they do all sort of chase after the creature, find Kay, rescue her, and then they just shoot the living shit out of the creature.
David doesn't even do the final kill, which is I think is a bit weird. I think he shoots a harpoon in it earlier, but it's the other people, Krusty Captain and Captain Crusted and
a seamate.
Shoot him up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shmee.
And poor old Shmee and Hook. Poor old poor old Gill man just ends up going all the way back to the sea, the river. Sorry, the lagoon. Get all my bloody water-based places mixed up.
Yeah.
Goes back to the lagoon, jumps in. He's basically dead. That's it.
He winds up as plate of fish fingers at the end. Post-credit scene. Captain
Hey,
Krusty,
Captain
it's
Birdseye.
Captain Birdseye.
Great for you.
Yeah.
So Captain Birdseye started.
Yeah.
Captain Krusty.
So, okay, we're going here. Some quizia, some trivia for you.
Yep.
Number 1, the creature, the Gillman, was initially based upon, was it 1, catfish, 2, some crap in chewing gum and stuff that got stuck to somebody's shoe, or 3, the Academy Award?
Wait, what? The Academy Award.
The Gillman from
Catfish.
Creature from the Black Lagoon is one of the most recognisable movie monsters today, but he almost looks very different. With direction from Jack Arnold, the makeup department created a creature that looked like an Academy Award with gills and fins.
Oh, right. Did I say that?
Yeah. Those
Yeah,
exact
said
words. Number 2.
Great.
Initially credited as the beauty who created the beast, Millicent Patrick co-created the design for the creature, but why was her name dropped from the opening credits?
Ooh. What's her name? Millicent
Googling it. Millicent Patrick.
No.
Co-created. As I can see.
She co-created it. She was dropped from the thing because she sold the design to someone else.
This is a difficult question. I'll give you a clue. She co-created the design for the creature.
She tried to take ownership of it completely.
No. So what happened was because she was
Someone else did.
Because she was a female, she was getting tons of credit as the beauty who created the beast. That's what I think her credits were going to be. It made the other guy, Bud Westmore, get super jealous of her attention.
What's his name? Bud Westmore. Hey, my name's Bud Westmore, and I created the beast.
We don't know the whole story. But
well, that's all I need to know, mate.
What a prick.
Yeah, he's a dickhead.
Westmore's family had become famous makeup artists, so Bud was able to get his co-worker's name out of the opening credits and take the credit for the creature's design.
Pure disgrace. That's a disgrace. I hope he got his comeuppance. Tell me she did. He did.
I don't know. I think there's a book. There's a book that came out about this, about Millicent Patrick. Google it because I don't know what it is, but it came out fairly recently. I think it's quite
That's
quite
lazy,
good.
isn't it? That's lazy. Google it, mate. Google it. Oh, I would tell you the details, but Google it, mate.
Google
Fucking
it.
hell. Waste of time.
And number 3, name game. So the film's called Creature of the Black Lagoon. This film I'm talking about is about a little boy who has a special spoon that he likes to dip in pools of water. One day he dips his spoon in some water and finds a beast on his spoon. What's it called?
Fucking hell. The creature from the Black Lagoon. From the back of the spoon. What am I saying?
That's quite
Creature
good.
from the back of the spoon.
Creature on the aqua spoon.
Oh,
Okay.
not your best.
Just so you wait. Oh no, I got rid of that one. There was another one that was even worse. I couldn't work out. It was like feature of the Actagoon or something. I couldn't work out. Okay, number 4. How many people were in charge of the score?
Phew.
Is that a number?
Is it high or low?
Middle of the road.
5.
3. Henry Mancini, Herman Stein, and Hans J. Salter. Whenever the Gillman comes on screen, his monster theme can be heard. This refrain doesn't just come on every once in a while, but every single time the Gillman comes on screen, the producers demanded that...
How does it go?
I can't remember. It's like... Oh no, it's something else.
Gillman, 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 Gillman. Gillman.
Number 5. Which famous movie director watched this film every year on his birthday? It's quite an open, large question. So I'll give you a clue. This famous director was once bitten by a radioactive Ingmar Berg.
Ingmar Bergman.
Yes, correct. He watched this movie every birthday.
Like, I didn't really get what you're on about until, like, when I said Ingmar Bergman, I was correcting you. Ingmar Bergman? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
You go, oh no, I've been bitten by a radioactive Ingmar Berg. Now I'm ready for Ingmar Berg. That's good. That makes up for the first one. Well done.
Okay. Well, good. We need to rate the film.
I get 5 out of 5 again.
Yeah, I think so. Somewhere along those lines.
Yeah. I think I preferred it to some of the other horror, because I think there are some bits about the other Universal horror movies that I find haven't aged so well, whereas I think this is pretty straightforward.
Well, Dracula doesn't even have a score. And I think, like, we can't handle movies without scores these days.
No, I know what you mean. But yeah, I like this. So I wouldn't go crazy on it. I wouldn't like go, I gotta watch it again. Oh, I gotta watch it again. I gotta watch it again. I mean, that's no disrespect to everything, but I would like to watch a few more of these to try and get a bit more of an idea of the Universal horror movies and where I stand on all of them. I'd like to watch The Wolfman.
Yeah.
What else haven't we seen?
I want to watch.
Mummy.
Yeah, that one. Freaks. I want to. That one with like the circus freaks. It's meant to be really good.
Yeah. So there we go. So I would give it. I think I'd give it a B.
Mate.
My
mind went blank. I was going to give it a B as well. Because it's it's solid. I mean, you can't really complain too much about it. It does everything you want in a creature feature Universal horror movie. I wouldn't, like you said, I wouldn't go jumping around. There's very few movies that I go jumping around after I've seen it. Yes.
Yes, that was great. I can't wait to see it again. Put it on again.
To be fair, when I was a kid,
I
I did do that.
Oh yes.
Master of the Universe, though. When Skeletor went gold.
Oh, come on, put it on again. I want to see Skeletor go gold.
Power Rangers
so
movie.
a B for us both. Both done a B. That's good, isn't it? Maybe this cliff we're talking about, maybe we've grown out of it. Maybe we're finally growing up, mainly me. But maybe I'm finally growing up and I can appreciate these things. I think before, because we're like watching it for the list, it almost feels like, right, we got to watch this one now, and we got to watch the other. And then, whereas this was a bit more like, why don't we watch this? Oh, yeah, let's watch it.
Like I said, this was more comforting, I found, this one. It was much more easy to stick on and watch. Whereas the other one, I mean, there is like a 20-year difference, I think, between this one and Dracula and
that's true.
Frankenstein. So
the Wolfman was the 40s, and I think the Mummy was like the 30s as well. Yeah,
Dracula and Dracula was like 31, and I think, or maybe it's the other way around. Frankenstein was 33, I think, and then this is like 1950. Is it? When is this one? Yeah,
1954.
Oh, okay, there you go. Yeah, so it's like 20 years. So I mean, they've been practicing the filmmaking by this point. They know a thing or two. They're getting there at this point.
Yeah, they're getting there. You're getting there, lads. Maybe one day make a good film.
One. Yeah? Exactly.
How do you feel about the Dark Universe getting basically just mugged off because the Mummy was shit?
I don't really care.
So we were gonna get Johnny Depp as an Invisible Man. We were gonna get Javier Bardem as the Wolfman. Is that right? Maybe not.
If
we're gonna get a load of good shite.
If the Mummy film, because normally the first film in a cinematic universe really has to sort of define the tone and the voice of. I mean, things can stray and move around that, but there's normally that focus point, the compass point of the rest of the universe. And if that was going to be the compass point of that universe, then I'm not that bothered. If that was great, if that was like a really cool film, it had like lots of interesting stuff, but it still got cancelled, then I'd be a bit more bothered. But I'm more interested to see the Blumhouse Invisible Man. To see what they do.
Yeah, which is out next month.
Ooh. It's Underwater out.
Lots of interesting stuff out next month.
Is that even?
So Underwater's out on the 7th of Feb. So it got pushed back, I think. I think initially it was the 23rd of Jan. And then they went, hang on a minute, 7th of Feb. So it looks like we're going to have to do another episode before we do that. So I don't think we've decided exactly what we're going to do yet, but we will work out,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I've got anything else to say. No, what I was looking for was the end credits. Here we go. Here we go. I got them. Right. Anything else you want to say before we wrap up?
Thanks, Luke, just for talking to me every week and making me feel like I've got a true friend.
Thanks for sticking with me last week when I wasn't here. Thanks for sticking with me when I wasn't here. I'm still a bit ill. My voice was on the back
Oh, here
ropes
we
there.
go. He's laying the groundwork now for when to next week. And he says,
Yeah.
"I can't do it again. I'm really ill. Sorry." And then he posts a picture. Then he posts a picture of himself
in
on Instagram, just
Miami.
on a bloody 10-mile
On a
run.
banana boat.
Just on a banana boat, nude.
Really ill. Okay.
I'm really ill. He's in the Black Lagoon swimming around, going, "I'm fine. Fit as a fiddle."
Okay.
It's a fiddler.
Thanks to Kovac Cameron for our theme music. Thanks to Acast for hosting the show. Thanks to the listeners. If you enjoyed the show, consider going to the Facebook group Horror Hangout Board of Advisors. Or you don't have to. Go to iTunes, hit subscribe. That you have to.
Yeah.
Thanks to my co-host Ben for being a right horror dude.
Thanks, Luke, for being a right horror dude as well.
Nice
as
one.
always.
Bye.
Lovely. Bye-bye now.